Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Andy.
Who's this?
This is Maddie,
Aw,
also known as Mad Dog.
so sweet.
She's all right. She's tolerable at best.
All right. Well, she'll be the only witness to our interview until the whole public sees it.
She won't tell.
Are you ready for your 23 questions?
I hope so.
Great. What's your daily routine?
Wake up, spend lots of time drinking coffee and hanging out with my dog. Slowly wake up and just do things around the house and go teach.
Awesome. Speaking of that, how do you prepare to teach a yoga class?
My yoga class is usually based on my own practice. So I'll practice and just kind of do what feels good to me. And throughout the week, I teach different variations of that particular flow.
That's cool. I am remiss in not asking you about this space. Is this the space you practice in at home?
This is the space I practice in at home.
It's so nice.
Never mind. Don't mind my mini mess.
It's lovely.
I kind of like it.
What's your very first memory of aerial silks?
I went in with a friend and I met Lynn, and she was just the nicest, most unicorn of a person. And I did the restorative class and it just felt like cozy magic. And I, after that, wanted to do it every single day.
And you pretty much have.
Yeah.
When did you decide you wanted to start teaching yoga?
Well, I decided a really long time ago, whenever I was in my early 20s, and then I made the mistake of listening to people who told me that I couldn't do it, told me I wasn't fit enough, and which, I was dumb for listening, but then I got a bunch of life experience, and at some point later on in life, it just clicked, and that's what I ended up doing.
What's the best thing about being a yoga teacher?
Surface answer is being able to help people. But then there's also, to me, like a deeper answer, whereas it's kind of like the best and worst part of it. Best part in a way is like holding myself accountable. In order to teach, I have to do my best to live it. And so if I'm not living it, I don't feel comfortable teaching it. But at the same time, keeping myself in check is a big challenge. So it can be the best and worst. So I have to fight every day to not let my base nature take over and to live within the 8 limbs as much as I can. So it's a constant push and pull.
Yin and yang?
Yin and yang.
I think you just answered my what's the worst thing about being a yoga teacher. Yeah, didn't you?
Keeping myself in check.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Oh, well, right now it's the Aperol Spritz.
Can you tell us how to make that delicious cocktail?
It's just Aperol and Prosecco with a slice of orange.
It is pretty delicious. And if we had a bigger budget, we'd be sharing one right now. What was your favorite movie when you were a kid?
Labyrinth.
Ah, that's very interesting. What's your favorite color?
It varies. At one point in time, I would definitively tell you pink. Now I got nothing. It's all the colors depending on when it's necessary.
What's your favorite flavor?
Sweet or salty. I like a spicy sweet combination personally.
Tell me one story from art school.
Oh, one story from art school. Geez. There's so many. That's going to take me a second. I hope you have some patience because I'm going to be thinking. Like a character development story, a funny story.
It can be any story that you want.
I remember when in college, one of the very first classes I took, where I had a professor that told me the truth because we in art school you have critiques, so you bring in your class, your project, and instead of just filling out questions and getting a grade, you get critiqued by the whole class. So he was the professor who didn't blow smoke. Like, he didn't tell you were great if you weren't. And so I had this like project I was really proud of. I turned it in, and he said, like, the thing I loved about it registered as a mistake. And so in art school, you learn to like have your heart broken on a repeat basis, and to like doubt yourself on a constant basis. But at the same time, it was really good for me because I got real feedback and real constructive criticism instead of just being told like, oh, it's cool. And so that like was one of my first moments of like really having to develop as an artist.
You told me the deep story.
I did. The funny stories are for later.
What's your non-yoga hidden talent?
I have a few. I mean, I guess painting would be an obvious one. And yeah.
I've already shown you guys paintings. What's your go-to healthy meal?
Whenever I'm lazy and I just want to eat something easy and quick, I will get like a bunch of vegetables and some Italian sausage and throw it on a baking sheet and like just roast it. And that's like the easiest thing in the world for me to make. So I tend to always have that on hand.
Where do you want to travel that you've never been to?
Spain.
Where can you not wait to go back to?
California, to visit my best friend.
Tell me about a hairstyle you had, which is best left in the past.
I got an Orphan Annie perm.
Really?
By accident. I wanted a perm, and my dad said no, and he went out of town on TDY and had a friend of his, watch me and my sister. And so she took me to get a perm, and it was so bad. It was so permed that I had these like just crazy, this little afro, and then when it grew out, I had just like, it was like flat on top and like fro on the bottom. So yeah, it was interesting.
How old were you?
I think I was probably like 8 years old. Now you have me thinking like, could I pull off an afro now? Could I do the Bob Ross? Because I heard that was a perm.
I think you should do it. Who inspires you?
You do. I mean, there's plenty of people, but really, honestly, we just had like lots of good conversation on my patio, and I always find conversation with you inspiring.
Oh, that's sweet. What's your favorite yoga pose and why?
Child's pose. Like, I love child's pose. I know I like to start my practice in child's pose every time, and it's because it's when I just kind of like go into my own little space. I shut everything out, and it helps me to like just refocus. So like in the past year, that has become like my favorite pose. A year ago, I may have told you something different. It's been a weird year.
It's been a weird year. What 3 words describe your yoga practice?
3 words. Like, I would say, I don't know, chill, calm, quiet.
Fair enough. What is something that is similar between painting, because you teach painting, and yoga? Teaching yoga.
I think getting over the idea of perfection and getting over the idea of what you think things are supposed to be versus what they are.
What's something super different about those 2 things?
Super different?
About teaching.
Oh, teaching both?
Yeah.
The energy required, because whenever I'm teaching painting, it's like I have to be this like fun, entertaining person. And then with yoga, I get to kind of like bring it down a notch. So that part's kind of nice. It's like in painting, my goal is not to put you to sleep. Whereas in yoga, I want to put you to sleep.
You do. And you're great at it. Are you a morning or a night person?
Mornings are for me, and then evenings are whenever I am ready to face the world. So.
And what's a question you wish someone would ask you?
Is the spoon really a spoon?
Is it?
What?
I said, is it?
There is no spoon.
Ah. Jessica, that's 23 questions. Thank you so much.
Mic drop.
Bye.
Bye, Maddie.